Good morning, everyone. In this video, we are going to study about principle of an antenna, isotopic antenna, radiation pattern, half-wave dipole. The various objectives of this lesson are: upon completion of this lesson, you will be able to know about introduction to antennas, principle of antenna, isotopic antenna, half-wave dipole, radiation pattern, of isotropic and half-wave dipoles. Antenna is a device converts RF power applied to its feed point into electromagnetic radiation. An electronic communication system consists of a transmitter, receiver, communication medium. In some communication systems, the transmission medium is a direct link between transmitter and receiver, such as wire, cable, fiber optic cable, etc. In radio communication system, there are no direct connections. The system is wireless. The modulated signal generated by the transmitter is sent into free space and is picked up by the receiver. The process of radiating the signal into space and receiving it are the functions of an antenna. So antenna transmit the signal. At the receiving side, antenna receives the signal. So an antenna is a structure that is capable of radiating or receiving electromagnetic waves. It is generally a metallic object such as wire or collection of wires used to convert high frequency current, that is modulated signal, into electromagnetic waves and vice versa. At the sending end, it converts modulated signal into electromagnetic waves, and at the receiving end, it converts electromagnetic waves into RF modulated signal. Transmitting antenna is used to couple the space to the input of the receiver. Antennas are employed in different systems in different forms. That is, in some systems, the characteristics of the system are designed around the directional properties of antenna, or in some other systems, the antennas are used to simply radiate electromagnetic energy into an omnidirectional or some other systems for point-to-point communication purposes. So an antenna is a device converts RF power applied to its feed point into electromagnetic radiation, intercepts energy from a passing electromagnetic radiation, which then appears as RF voltage across the antenna's feed point. So RF voltage across the antenna's feed point that is converted into electromagnetic radiation. Any conductor through which an RF current is flowing can be an antenna. A simple antenna can be any conductor. If you apply a current to that particular conductor, then there will be a radiation. Any conductor that can intercept an RF field can be an antenna. In two-way communication, the same antenna can be used for transmission and reception. So for example, radar communication system, so transmission is done, afterwards we receive the echo signal. So the same antenna can be used for both transmission and reception. Otherwise, we require a transmitting antenna. We also require a receiving antenna at the receiving end. So transmitter is connected to transmitting antenna, and receiving antenna is connected to receiver. And now we'll study about the principle of antenna. Antenna converts radio frequency electrical energy fed to it through a transmission line to an electromagnetic wave propagated into space. So the main function of the antenna is it is converting a radio frequency electrical energy, that is RF modulated energy, is converted into electromagnetic waves that can be propagated into the space. So an antenna may be thought of as a short length of a transmission line, When high frequency alternating source is applied at its one end, the resulting forward and reverse traveling waves combine to form a standing wave pattern on the line. However, all the forward energy does not get reflected at open end, and a small portion escapes from the system and thus radiated. So the electromagnetic radiation from the transmitting antenna has two components. It has magnetic field associated with the current in the antenna and an electric field associated with the potential. The two fields, that is magnetic field and electric field, are perpendicular to each other, and both are perpendicular to the direction of the propagation. So an electromagnetic wave is horizontally polarized if its electric field is in the horizontal direction. Thus, an antenna fixed horizontally produces horizontally polarized waves. Similarly, vertical antennas produces vertically polarized waves. The physical size of the radiating element is proportional to the wavelength. The antenna size depends upon the wavelength. Wavelength in turn depends upon the frequency of operation. The amount of energy that is radiated in space by a transmitting antenna is, however, extremely small unless the wires of lines are suitably oriented and lengths made comparable to the wavelength. If two wires of transmission lines are opened up, there is less likely of cancellation of radiation from two wire tips, and this improves the efficiency of the radiation. This type of radiator is called dipole. So we have different types of antennas, which we will study in detail, and hence the size of the antenna depends upon the wavelength. Higher the frequency, smaller the antenna size. So as the frequency increases, the wavelength decreases. When the wavelength decreases, the size of the antenna also decreases. So this is the basic principle of an antenna. It is shown here. So we have a transmission line. Transmission line, we are applying RF energy from the transmitter. So the RF energy is going like this, and then it is opened at the other end. When it is opened at the other end, then this transmission line acts like an antenna. Now this electric field is converted into electromagnetic waves, and these electromagnetic waves are passing through the channel or a communication medium. So antenna, it may be thought of a short length of a transmission line. When high frequency alternating source is applied at its one end, the resulting forward and reverse traveling waves combine to form a standing wave pattern on the line. However, if all the forward energy does not get reflected at open end, so we have open end at this point, a small portion escapes from the system and thus it is radiated. So when the opening is more energy is escaped into the space. So the electromagnetic radiation from the transmitting antenna has two components. One is the magnetic field. Suppose a X direction magnetic field, Y direction electric field. Perpendicular to both the X and Y direction, there is a direction of propagation of the electromagnetic wave as shown in this diagram. So we can make a transmission line into an antenna. The basic principle is very simple. A transmission line, it is bent at the far end, at the other end, and instead of reflections from the open end, there is a matching of the output impedance of the transmission line with the free space impedance. Due to that, the energy is converted into electromagnetic waves, and that can be propagated through the channel. Antenna, how its work. Assuming that the operating frequency in both cases is the same, the antenna will perform identically in transmit or receive mode. So the same frequency will be received by the antenna. So this is the structure of the antenna. It is a half-wave folded dipole. This total structure is Aggie antenna. This is one example of an antenna. It is shown here. This is a reflector. This is a folded dipole which acts as an antenna, and this is a director, and these are all the parasitic elements. And this is a mount to fix the elements of the antenna. So here we connect the transmitter to a dipole. It is a folded half-wave dipole. Through coaxial cable, we connect it to an antenna. This it will convert the signal into electromagnetic wave, and they will be in different directions. It is propagating, but there is a reflector. The signal will be reflected, and the signal will be passing in the forward direction. This is one type of an antenna. Similarly, when it is acting as a receiving antenna, the signal will be received in this direction, and they will be available at this folded dipole. Some of the energy escaping through the folded dipole will go to the reflector and will be reflected back here, and the amount of energy is collected at this particular point. And we have various types of antennas. We have a dish antenna. It is a microwave antenna, and its structure is like the parabolic dish. This is the feed point, and dish antennas are most widely used for microwave applications. For example, satellite communication to receive the television programs. We have a DTH antenna, direct to home system antenna. Nowadays, we are making use of dish antennas, small size dish antennas. So it is oriented towards the transmitter. So the signal will be collected here. When the signal is striking this parabolic dish structure, they will be reflected from the parabolic structure, and all will go to the focus point. And at this focus point, we are keeping the feed point, and then that energy is received and it is applied to a receiver. So this is dish antenna is one of the most popular antennas for microwave applications. This is another antenna, monopole antenna. We have only one pole, and the radiation pattern is like this. It can receive the signal in this direction, or it can transmit the signal in the other direction. Normally, it can be a horn antenna, horn type of antenna. This is a helix type of antenna. The structure is like the helix. Here there is a circular polarization because the electric signal is applied to it. It is going vertically, it is going horizontally, going vertically like this. So vertical radiation, horizontal radiation. When the vertical radiation and horizontal radiation are combined, then it forms the circular polarization. So circular polarization is most widely used for satellite tracking. So we have so many different types of antennas. We will discuss in detail about each and every type of antenna in our future classes. This is another type of antenna, folded dipole. Normally we use this folded dipole for television channel reception, space wave transmission. A wire, a conductor bent in the form of fold. It acts as the antenna, folded dipole antenna, used for reception of the television signals from the TV transmitter. So the basic principle of an antenna, if you observe all these structures, an antenna may be thought of as a short length of a transmission line or a structure. When high frequency alternating source is applied at its one end, the resulting forward and reverse traveling waves combine to form a standing wave pattern is formed on the line. However, all the forward energy does not get reflected at the open end, then some of the energy is trying to escape into the space. Then it is behaving like an antenna. When we make the other end that matches with the free space impedance, then there is a propagation of the electromagnetic wave escaping into the space. So the electromagnetic radiation from the transmitting antenna has two components. It has magnetic field, as we have seen. It has electric field, both are perpendicular to each other. Then the direction of the propagation of the field is perpendicular to the direction of both magnetic and electric fields. The principle of working of an antenna: for an open circuited transmission line, fields cancels each other due to the opposite current. When there is an opposite current, the fields are cancelled. When there is a same direction current, they will be added in phase. When bending the transmission line into a dipole, when we bend it at the open end, fields are enhanced at the outer end. When the fields are enhanced at the outer end, there is a propagation of waves. So observe this diagram. So we have a two wires, two conductors. Let me take this is another conductor. This is one conductor, another conductor. Electrical signal is applied here. When there is no bending, they are propagating into the wire. Suppose if it is a open end, the open end is like this, it is opened. Then what happens? The energy will be returned back. When it is short circuited, when the far end is short circuited also, it will be returned back. Whatever the energy coming from here, it will be returned back. When it is open end also, the signal coming here and again it will be reflected back. So when we provide certain impedance here, the energy is dissipated in the impedance. So what is the function of the antenna? How we can make it into an antenna? When we are bending this transmission line in this shape. So if we do bending at the other end like this, the waves are going like this, and then when there is a bending, these wave, this electric field is converted into electromagnetic waves. This electromagnetic wave consisting of electric field, magnetic field perpendicular to it, there is a direction of propagation of the wave. So the wave is further propagated, producing the electromagnetic field, and they are further propagated into the channel. So this is the basic principle of an antenna. So what is the basic principle of an antenna? An antenna is thought of as a short length of a transmission line. When high frequency alternating source is applied at its one end, the resulting forward and reverse traveling waves combine to form a standing wave pattern on the line. However, all the forward energy does not get reflected at open end. Small portion escapes from the system and thus radiated. When the signal is radiated, as shown in the diagram, it acts like an antenna. The electromagnetic radiation from the transmitting antenna has two components: magnetic field associated with the current in the antenna and electric field associated with the potential difference. These two fields are perpendicular to each other in space, and both are perpendicular to the direction of the wave. An electromagnetic wave is horizontally polarized if its electric field is in the horizontal direction. Thus, an antenna fixed horizontally produces horizontally polarized waves. Similarly, vertical antennas produce vertically polarized waves. So if the antenna is oriented horizontally, horizontal polarization is done. When the antenna is placed vertically, so there is a vertical polarization. The amount of energy that is radiated in space by a transmitting antenna is extremely small unless the voids of lines are suitably oriented and lengths made comparable to the wavelength. So it is depending upon the wavelength. If two wires of transmission lines are opened up, there is less likely of cancellation of the radiation from two wires, thus improves the efficiency of the radiation. When the opening is more radiation will be coming up. So as shown in the diagram, the antenna is effectively a piece of transmission line bent out and open circuited at far ends. Such a length has low impedance at the end connected to the main feeder transmission line. This is in turn means that a large current will flow at the input of the wires and efficient radiation will take place. With the help of the Maxwell's equations, it is possible to reduce the expressions for the energy radiated by an antenna, the direction of the radiation in which it propagates, and the field strength at any distance from it. The results shows that the field strength depends on the power transmitted and is inversely proportional to the distance from the radiation source. So we have the Maxwell's equation, so we can calculate the amount of power radiated, electric field calculations, magnetic field calculations also done. Now we'll see about the isotropic antenna. It is a simple form of an antenna. We have the number of antennas. The first type is the isotropic radiator. It is the simplest antenna mathematically. Radiates all power supplied to it equally in all directions. It is an junction antenna. It is a isotropic radiator where the radiation is done in all the directions. In 360 degrees, the radiation is going there. So that is why it is called as an isotropic antenna. Radiates all the power supplied to it in equal directions. It is theoretical system only, cannot be built practically. It is useful as a reference antenna. Other antennas are often compared with it. So this is a theoretical antenna, and the other antennas are compared with this with respect to isotropic antenna. So what is an isotropic antenna? It is a theoretical antenna, cannot be built practically. So isotropic radiator is an antenna which radiates the electric power supplied to it equally in all the directions. It is a point source. Isotropic antenna is used as a standard for comparison because its characteristics are simple, even though this antenna cannot be built and tested. Thus, an isotropic radiator is a hypothetical lossless radiator or antenna with which the practical radiators or antennas are compared. So it is a simple antenna. It radiates power in all the directions equally. It is a theoretical antenna, cannot be built practically. It can be used as a reference antenna. Other antennas can be compared with the isotropic antenna. Now we have elementary doublet antenna. This is also called a short dipole or wire antenna. The elementary doublet is a small length of conductor, delta L. This delta L is very small compared to the wavelength carrying an alternating current. So this elementary doublet is a very small length antenna. The conductor length is a delta L. This delta is very small compared to the wavelength which is carrying the alternating current. In reality, this small length of the conductor will be just one of the multiple segments into which we must divide a real antenna in order to calculate its properties. So it is a small length antenna, and we have such type of length antennas to form different structures of an antenna. So elementary doublet is called as a short dipole or a wide dipole. It is a thin and has length delta L or DL, which is very small, very short compared to the wavelength lambda. So elementary doublet, it has the radiation resistance. Radiation resistance is maximum. We will see what is radiation resistance. Is maximum at right angles to the dipole and eventually falls away to zero in line with the antenna. The radiation pattern means it is the propagation of the energy in a particular direction. It is a function of the direction. It is the energy, magnetic field or electric field propagation in the particular direction. The radiation pattern is figure of 8. Figure of 8 means one side it is going and opposite side also it is going. The same radiation pattern will exist in any plane containing the elementary doublet, so that three-dimensional pattern is the figure of revolving, look like very much like a dot net type of radiation. So this is a short and dipole. It is also called as a wire antenna. It is thin and has length dl, which is very short compared to the wavelength. Elementary doublet radiation is maximum at right angles to the dipole and eventually falls away to zero in line with the antenna. The radiation pattern is figure of 8 with its axis at right angles to the dipole itself. So it is a small length of the conductor delta L, which is very small compared to wavelength carrying alternating current. In reality, the small length of the conductor will be just one of the multiple segments into which we must divide a real antenna in order to calculate its properties. Now we will say about the half-wave dipole. It is the simplest practical antenna. So with isotropic is a comparative purpose. We use elementary doublet. It is small length antenna, but the practical antenna starts from the half-wave dipole. It is a simple practical antenna. This is a fundamental antenna. It is a metal rod or tube or wire which has physical length equal to lambda by 2 in the free space. The length of the dipole is half-wave dipole is lambda by 2, half wavelength lambda by 2. An antenna having a physical length that is 1/2 wavelength of the applied frequency is called half-wave dipole. So we have the fundamental antenna. It is a half-wave dipole. It is a metal rod or tube or wire which has physical length of approximately lambda by 2 in the free space. A dipole has two wires. Dipole means it has two wires. Half-wave dipole means two wires having the length equal to lambda by 2. So it is the simplest practical antenna. An antenna having physical length that is 1/2 of the dipole antenna. Actual length is typically about 95% of half-wave length in free space. So length of this half-wave dipole is 142.5 by f meters. So we can make use of this formula to calculate the length in meters. This is 142.5 mega. So into 10 power 6 will be there. So length of the antenna becomes 0.95 lambda by 2, where lambda equal to c by f. C is 3 into 10 power 8. If we take, then we will be getting 142.5 into 10 power 6 by f, where f is in hertz. So in practice, its length will be slightly less than 1/2 the free space wavelength to allow for capacitive effects. That is why it is 95%. So we are providing capacitive effects compensation. A half-wave dipole is also called as Hertz dipole. Typically, the length of the half-wave dipole is 95% of 1/2 wavelength measured in the free space. Wavelength lambda equal to c by f, where c is the velocity of light given by 3 into 10 power 8 meters per second. Lambda is the wavelength in meters. F is the operating frequency in hertz. Therefore, length of the half-wave dipole becomes L equal to 0.95 lambda by 2. If we calculate it, we are getting it as 142.5 into 10 power 6 by F in meters. So when F is in megahertz, then we have 142.5 by F in megahertz. If F is in hertz, it is 142.5 into 10 power 6. Theoretically, the length of the dipole, in this formula, we have to take F in megahertz. Or if you are taking F in hertz, This formula will be 142.5 into 10 power 6 by F. So lambda equal to C by F. Lambda is the wavelength, which is given by the formula velocity of light divided by frequency. Lambda is the free space wavelength in meters. C is 3 into 10 power 8 meters per second. F is the operating frequency in hertz. And this half-wave dipole, which is also known as Hertz dipole. Hertz antennas are not found at frequencies below 2 megahertz. So antennas are designed for the frequency of our transmission for 2 megahertz above onwards. Because of the physical size needed of the antenna to represent a half-wave dipole. So for below 2 megahertz, we cannot design the half-wave dipoles. For transmission of the signals above 2 megahertz, we can build up the physical size needed for an antenna to represent the half-wave dipole. It is a dipole. We have wavelength. Wavelength means a completion of one cycle. It is a wavelength, lambda by 2. If we take lambda by 2, it is half wavelength. 1/4 wavelength is this side. We have one transmission line bent like this. Another wire bent like this. Dipole means two poles, two wires are there. It is a transmission line bent at the open end. One side it is 1/4 wavelength, the other side it is 1/4 wavelength. The total wavelength becomes 1/4 plus 1/4 is 1 by 2 wavelength. It is lambda by 2. When the length of the antenna is lambda by 2, it is a half wave dipole. When the length of the antenna is lambda by 4, it is a quarter wave. See, for 1900 megahertz, 78.95. For 800 megahertz, 187.5 mm. So, for more frequency, less wavelength. For less frequency, more wavelength. Lambda equal to C by F. Lambda is inversely proportional to the frequency. So, how will be the structure of the half-wave dipole? We have a transmission line. Transmission line, it is opened at the far end and bent like this. Then one side it is if we take the length equal to lambda by 4. Otherwise, if we take other wire, if we take the length equal to lambda by 4, the total length becomes lambda by 2. If we apply the modulated signal at this transmission line, it is radiated into the space. So we have the formula for lambda equal to C by F. So when we take in miles, when C value is in miles per second, we can get the value of lambda in miles. If we take F equal to 3 into 10 power 8, if lambda is, when we take the value of C in miles per second, we will be getting the value of lambda in miles. If we take C equal to 3 into 10 power 8 meters per second and frequency in hertz, we will be getting the lambda value in meters. So we have to use the formula appropriately. If a half-wave dipole antenna needed to be constructed for 50 Hz signal, how large would it need to be? Lambda equal to C by F. C is this much. F is 50 Hz. So 3720 miles. For low frequencies, the value of lambda is high. When lambda is high, lambda by 2 is also high. This is the length of the half-wave dipole, which is practically impossible. That is the reason we have to increase the frequency. If the frequency is more, the value of lambda is less. When lambda is less, the length of the half-wave dipole lambda by 2 also becomes less. So practically possible, lambda by 2 values are considered for the frequency of operation to be transmitted. Now we'll see about the radiation pattern. So we have the radiation pattern. It is a graphical representation of an antenna. A radiation pattern is a polar diagram, a graph representing field strengths or power densities at various positions related to an antenna. So radiation pattern is one of the most important parameters of an antenna. Radiation pattern of an antenna is the graphical representation of radiation of an antenna as a function of direction. At various positions, various directions, how much is the field strength going on. So we can define the radiation pattern of an antenna, which is a graphical representation of radiation of an antenna as a function of direction. If the radiation from an antenna is expressed in terms of field strength, E volts per meter, the radiation pattern is called the field strength pattern. If the radiation is given direction is expressed in terms of power, it is called power pattern. A power pattern is a proportional to square of the field pattern. So there are two types of radiation patterns. One is the field pattern and the second one is the power pattern. So if we express the radiation graph polar diagram with respect to position in terms of the field strength volts per meter, the radiation pattern is called as field strength pattern. If the radiation in a given direction is expressed in terms of power, so if we calculate power in different directions and if we draw the graph with respect to direction, then we call it as the power pattern. So generally power pattern is proportional to the square of the field pattern. This is the half wave dipole. This is one pole, a monopole. Then the value of this dipole, two poles combines form dipole. When the length is lambda by 2, it becomes half wave dipole. So 73 ohms is the radiation resistance. If we calculate the radiation resistance, we can get 73 ohms. So radiation resistance of an antenna is defined as the ratio of the power radiated by antenna to the square of the current at the feed point. Power radiated equal to I square into RR. So radiation resistance RR equal to power radiated by I square. And this is the radiation pattern. So we have the graph like this. This is 0 degrees. It is a polar graph. With respect to direction, how is the field strength? This is 0 degrees position, 30 degrees, 60 degrees, 90, 180, 270, 300, 330, and again 0 degrees position. And we are calculating the field strength in each direction. In this direction, how will be the field strength? Move the antenna to 0 degrees, how will be the field strength? Move the antennas to 10 degrees, how will be the field strength? So calculate the field strength for at each and every direction and draw the graph. How will be the graph here? Graph is with electric field with respect to the direction. So radiation pattern is with respect to direction. If we take isotropic radiator, it is circular. The radiation pattern is circular like this. This is the radiation pattern. These are dashed lines. This is the radiation pattern of isotropic antenna. So when we place an antenna here, it radiates the amount of energy in all the directions equally. Equal radiation is there. Circle means it is equal radiation. Whereas the radiation pattern of half-wave dipole is like figure of 8. This is figure of 8. So there will be a radiation in this direction, maximum radiation in this direction, and also in the opposite direction. So here at this point, there is no radiation. There is no radiation in these two directions. So we have the antenna in these two directions, there is no radiation. Whereas in this direction, there is a maximum radiation. In the opposite direction also, maximum radiation. At 0 degrees, there is a maximum gain. At 180 degrees also, there is a maximum gain. And then as it is going on in this direction, we will be getting the nulls. Nulls means the zero electric field representation. So when we draw the graph of electric field with respect to direction, we call the radiation pattern null as electric field pattern. If we calculate the power in each direction, if we draw the power with respect to direction, then we get the power pattern. So what is the difference between isotropic radiator and half-wave dipole? Isotropic radiator, it is a point antenna, it is a theoretical antenna. It radiates electric energy in all the directions. So circular radiation pattern. Whereas half-wave dipole, when it is placed like this, it radiates energy in this direction and also in this direction. The antenna is tilted, then this radiation pattern also tilted. It depends upon where is the transmitter and in which direction the transmission should be done. How will we receive the signal in a particular direction? So based on that, we can have the antennas vertically polarized if we want a vertical radiation pattern, horizontally polarized if we want horizontal radiation pattern. And hence radiation pattern, it is a graphical representation of the radiation of an antenna as a function of direction. If the radiation from an antenna is expressed in terms of field strength, volts per meter, the radiation pattern is called as the field strength pattern. If the radiation in a given direction is expressed in terms of power, it is called as power pattern. So a power pattern is proportional to the square of the field pattern. So it is a square of the field. So power is a square of the field pattern. So the radiation pattern of isotropic radiator is circular, whereas the radiation pattern of half-wave dipole is figure of 8. If the antenna is located vertically, we will be getting the vertical radiation. If the antenna is oriented horizontally, we will be getting the horizontal radiation. So if the transmitting antenna is vertically polarized, the receiving antenna must also be vertically polarized. The reason is it can pick up the vertically polarized waves at the receiving end. The transmission is vertical. If the antenna is horizontal, it cannot pick up the signal properly. So both transmitting antennas and receiving antennas must be of the same polarization. Now we will see about the antenna efficiency. This is also one term that is related to antenna. So efficiency is defined as a PR by PT, where PR is called the radiation power. PT is the total power supplied to an antenna. This is the input power. It is the input power. And PR is the radiated power. So efficiency of an antenna is defined as a ratio of radiated power to the total power supplied at the input of an antenna. So the efficiency of an antenna is defined as the ratio of the power radiated to the total input power supplied to the antenna and is represented by PR by PT. Now let us see one question here. Calculate the efficiency of a dipole antenna with radiation resistance 70 ohms and ohmic resistance 5 ohms. Measure 5 ohms at the feed point. Efficiency can also be calculated using the formula radiation resistance by radiation resistance plus the loss resistance. So when the radiation resistance is given as 70, 70 by 70 plus 5, 70 by 75, that is 93.33%. So efficiency is given by the formula radiation resistance, radiated power by total input power. So radiated power by total input power is associated with the radiation resistance and the loss resistance. In the denominator, we have the loss resistance. 5 ohms loss resistance is given in this formula. So 70 by 70 plus 5. So it depends upon the radiation resistance as well as loss resistance of the antenna. An ideal antenna would radiate all the power supplied to it into the space that they have 100% efficiency, but practically it is not possible. The efficiency is limited because of loss resistance. So we have the formula efficiency equal to radiation resistance by radiation resistance plus loss resistance. Eta is the antenna efficiency. RR is the radiation resistance in ohms. RE is the loss resistance or the effective resistance in ohms. Now what is effective resistance? Some of the input power is dissipated in the effective resistance. It includes ground resistance. When the antenna is connected to ground, there is a loss. Imperfect dielectric. Dielectric, when it is imperfect, it is also a loss resistance. So there are some eddy currents and so on. Because of this, the efficiency is less than 100%. So efficiency is given by the formula radiation resistance volt divided by radiation resistance plus effective resistance. Effective resistance is nothing but the loss resistance. These losses include the ground resistance, imperfect dielectric, eddy current losses, and etc. Only these out of these will be wasted and the remaining will be radiated. Now we have the two terms EIRP and ERP associated with the antenna. EIRP stands for effective isotropic radiated power. And ERP stands for effective radiated power. These are the two terms we have. Effective isotropic radiated power, EIRP. ERP is the effective radiated power. Now we will define what is EIRP. Effective isotropic radiated power equal to the amount of power that would have to be applied to an isotropic radiator to give the same power density at a given point. There are no losses in the isotropic radiator. It is radiating power in all the directions. So when we get the same power density at a given point, then we call it as EIRP. Then what is ERP? It is defined as the amount of power that would have to be applied to half-wave dipole. EIRP is related to isotropic radiator, whereas effective radiated power, ERP, is related to half-wave dipole. The amount of power that we are applying to half-wave dipole oriented in a direction of maximum gain to give the same power density at a given point. Isotropic radiator, same power density at a particular point. Half-wave dipole also same density at a particular point. How much amount of power that we are applying to a half-wave dipole oriented in a direction of maximum gain to give the same power density at a given point. So EARP is related to isotropic radiator. ERP is related to the half-wave dipole. And we have the conversions between EIRP and ERP. EIRP equal to ERP plus 2.14 dB. When ERP is given, we can find EIRP. When EIRP is given, we can find ERP. EIRP is used in all our equations. Sometimes ERP regulations are also used for transmission installations. Now we have a radiation resistance. All power supplied to an antenna is radiated. Some of it is converted to heat and dissipated. Radiation resistance is somewhat unreal in that cannot be measured directly. It is the ratio of power radiated into space to the square of the current at its feed point. So power radiated by I square. PR by I square is the radiation resistance. Power equal to I square R. So PR equal to I square into RR. RR equal to PR by I square. So it is defined as the ratio of power radiated into space to the square of the current at its feed point. So RR is the radiation resistance, which is equal to power radiated by square of the current. RR is the radiation resistance in ohms. P is the power radiated by the antenna in watts. I is the antenna current at the feed point that is measured in terms of amperes. So this formula is used to calculate the radiation distance. And the calculation of radiation distance is used to calculate the antenna efficiency. Antenna efficiency given by radiation distance by radiation resistance plus loss resistance. Radiation resistance varies with the antenna length. Resistance increases as the lambda increases and wavelength increases. Resistance also increases. So based on this, we have the antenna efficiency given by radiation resistance by input power. So PR is the radiated power divided by total power supplied to an antenna. This is the formula when radiation resistance is 70 ohms and the effective loss resistance is 5 ohms. Then we will get RR by RR plus RE, that is 70 by 70 plus 5. It depends upon the loss resistance of the antenna. When the loss resistance is more, it is in the denominator, the efficiency will be less. And we have to see that the loss resistance is less, so in order to increase the efficiency. An ideal antenna would radiate all the power supplied to it into the space that they have 100% efficiency. Radiation resistance by RR plus RE is the formula to calculate the antenna efficiency. Eta is the antenna efficiency, which is equal to radiation resistance by radiation resistance plus effective resistance, all in terms of ohms. Some of the input power is dissipated in the effective resistance. It includes ground resistance, the other imperfect dielectric, eddy current, and the remaining losses in the receiver. Decibel is one term that is also associated with all calculations. Decibel is a logarithmic unit of any quantity of measurement. It expresses the magnitude of physical quantity related to a specified or implied reference level. Since it expresses at two ratios, quantity of ratio of two quantities, so it is a dimensionless. Decibels is given by the formula 10 log P1 by P2 based on power ratios, 20 log V1 by V2 voltage ratios. V1 and V2 are the two voltages. Let me take voltage at one point and voltage at the other point. Then if it is voltage ratios, it is 20 multiplied by log V1 by V2. It is power ratios, 10 log P1 by P2. For current ratios also, it is 20 log I1 by I2. All circuits either amplify or attenuate power. Amplification P0 by Pi, power amplification. Attenuation is P0 by Pi when it is less than 1. As the power ratio can be very large or very small. So when it is very large and very small, it is difficult to quantify. So we can make use of the decibel scale. If you take decibel scale 10 log, this large value, we are getting it as 50 dB. Similarly, for loss attenuation also, we are getting the negative sign here, minus 37 dB. Positive decimal reading indicates the gain. Negative decimal reading indicates the attenuation. We have also another formula for measurement of the certain ratios. NEPR, it is a logarithmic unit originally introduced to express the attenuation of current along a transmission line using natural logarithm. This is log base E. V1 by V2 voltage ratios. When we take log base E, we will be getting NEPRs. Or in terms of log current ratios also, log base E I1 by 8. And we have also the formula relation between decibel and NEPR. The value in decibel equal to 8686N. So NEPR is given by the formula 1 by 2 log base E P1 by P2 in terms of the power. There are conversions, 3 NEPRs into decibels, 3 dB into NEPR, 20 log base 10 I1 by I2 equal to 8.686 N. This is the formula. dB equal to 8.686 N. D equal to 8.686 into 3 NEPRs are given, so we can calculate first formula. When we divide 3 dB with 8.686 value, then we get in terms of NEPRs. So when decibels is given, we can convert it into NEPR. When NEPR is given, we can convert it into decibels using this particular formula. And we have seen EIRP also, effective isotopic radiated power, effective radiated power. EIRP equal to the amount of power that would have to be applied to an isotopic radiator to give the same power density at a given point. ERP is related to half-wave dipole. It is equal to the amount of power that would have to be applied to a half-wave dipole oriented in a direction of maximum gain to give the same power density at a given point. Now we have conversions, EIRP equal to ERP plus 2.14 dB. So in this lesson, we have studied about what is an antenna, what is working principle of an antenna, how we can make an antenna. And we also studied the theoretical antenna, isotopic antenna. We have defined the radiation resistance, which is the graphical representation of the field with respect to direction. Radiation pattern, we have two types, field pattern, power pattern. If we draw the field versus direction, we get field pattern. If we draw the power versus direction, we get the power pattern. For isotopic antenna, we have the radiation pattern circular. So isotopic antenna is an antenna which radiates power in all the directions equally. Then we also studied about the half-wave dipole, whose length is lambda by 2. We have dipole means two poles, two wires, whose length is lambda by 2. Then it forms the half-wave dipole. So the radiation pattern of half-wave dipole is figure of 8, as we have seen in details. Now let us answer the quiz questions. The standard reference antenna for direct to gain is isotropic antenna. Isotopic antenna is a standard reference antenna for comparing any practical antennas. Next question. The radiation resistance of half-wave dipole in free space is 73 ohms, as we have seen. The gain of the half-wave dipole is 1.64. Gain is output by N. The standard reference antenna for direct to gain is the isotopic antenna. 1 NEPR equal to 0.115 D. Next question, radiation resistance increases as wavelength increases. Frequently asked questions. Explain the basic principle of operation of antenna systems. Define an antenna. Explain about isotropic antenna. Explain about half-wave dipole. Sketch the radiation pattern of isotropic antenna and half-wave dipole antennas.